Alright, so welcome to the JSman interview. So far, Patrick is the only one in the audience, but we'll move on as we continue to go. JSman, would you like to start us off with the introduction? JSman? I don't know if you're trying to speak, but you are muted. Yeah, JSman isn't speaking. Uh, Interesting. There you go. So welcome to this very interesting interview. Everything is being live streamed in my own channel, so it's in the announcements. But Jasmine, how are you on this fine morning? Yeah, something's happening to his mic probably. I have no idea what's going on to him. Oh, I have it. Oh, that might be my right mic a little bit. I just changed the input device, so if you wanna see if you can hear me. Yeah, again, was I not being heard for like the first 5 minutes? Oh, great. Yeah. So welcome to the JSman interview. Pretty interesting. Um, Everything's being live streamed. Patrick is the only one in the audience, and I guess I was muted technically for a good 5 minutes. So, alright, how are you? It's fine morning, JSman. Um, Very interesting morning considering Alford had a little live stream where he threw a fit. So there's that. But yeah. So I'm gonna get started with the first little question. So you're a JSman. So how'd you become JSman? Ba- Basically, who are you? Do you code in TypeScript at all? Because Patrick would be really happy if you code in TypeScript. So yeah, so what do you code, like, specifically? What projects do you do? Okay, I think nobody can hear you on the stream. Give me a minute. Yep, it was linked to the wrong output. Alright.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was linked to the wrong output. OBS Studio didn't understand what output it was going to. 6 minutes of silence. Great. Yeah, OBS Studio can understand my microphone, but I don't think it can understand the Discord call. So I'll put that real quickly.
Thank you for the confirmation, Patrick. That's helpful.
Yeah, nobody can actually hear us at all so far. Yeah, it was just you. Alright. Again, wrong output. So, I'm just going to restart from there. JSman codes in JavaScript. He doesn't code in TypeScript, which makes Patrick a little mad. And welcome to the JSman interview. For like the third time I said the introduction, we've been having some technical difficulties. I just didn't think OBS Studio would not go to the right output. So, there is one thing. If you saw me do the test stream on Wednesday, you could probably hear me. I just didn't test the Discord call output, even though I said I was going to, so there's that. So, yeah, I apologize for the technical difficulties. It's been a little while since I streamed, and my output has been changing a lot, so there's that. So, yeah, nobody could just hear JSman, because the output was just completely wrong. So, yeah, I might cut out the first 6 minutes once I'm done streaming here, but for the most part, we're just gonna continue on like nothing happened, because we only got for like the first question, which again, if you want to repeat the "Who are you?" question, that would be we can just pick up from there.
Okay, sure. I'd love to do that. So I guess I'll start from the top. So my name is JSman225. I've been coding for about 6 to 7 years now at this point. Code mainly in JavaScript, a little bit of Python, but not for most things. Um, I don't code in TypeScript, although that's one of my bucket list things. I know Patrick would be happy to hear that this year. Um, I code a couple different projects, such as my DeltaSoft AI bot, Swooshly, which is an upcoming social media platform, and other websites for other people.
Yeah, Patrick, Instrix is written in TypeScript, so I don't know why you'd only limit to Instrix. I am definitely pronouncing that wrong because Alfred has been so mad at me for pronouncing Instrix wrong. So there's that. But so how'd you find Discord to be like your main home?
So, among other social media platforms which I do have, I found Discord to be a good community type place. I operate a couple different Discord communities, but I found it to be a good place to connect with the people who I don't necessarily know in a safe environment and where I can kind of control and create the own community that I would want other people to have.
Yeah, Discord can be a cesspit of different people, like coders, programmers, or like people who talk about like making food or whatever. Just like Patrick talking about Haskell right now, and soon Haskell, eventually, once your main programmer can calm down, because he made the compiler, so pretty much. So, Jasmine, you mentioned that you've grown an AI. How's that going?
So I can talk a little bit about that. So right now, our AI is technically offline at the moment, but that is going to be changing pretty soon. So for some of you who participated in our early beta testing, you will have experienced an early version of our bot, which is an AI that integrates OpenAI software. So from the makers of ChatGPT and DALL-E, those providers through Discord. So similar to Clyde AI, which has now been shut down. Um, and it is a little more integrated than Clyde. So it remembers your conversations. You can DM it. You can add it to any Discord server, and it's more of an assistant, but also like Clyde, it also um, is more of just a chatbot too. Now, right now, we're going through a little bit of restructuring, trying to move it from a beta step into a full release. But with that comes a little bit of recoding. OpenAI itself has made a lot of changes to their APIs, their pricing, and just their overall business model, I think. So, looking at the financial sustainability of this, as well as how we're going to just structurally organize users and how data is stored. We used to use Replit for most of our hosting. That has also become a little bit of an issue. So looking at dedicated private hosting, as well as our own hosting servers for databases and how we store user information. We're also going through a little bit of a branding change. Let me share my screen real quick. I posted on Twitter a couple days ago
Yeah,
about this, but you should be able to see
yeah, we can.
this. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, we can see.
All right. So this right here is going to be our new Delta Self AI's new mascot for our AI interface. This is Delta, the bot. Doesn't have a specific gender, but is just a general helpful bot. This was our old mascot for Delta Self AI, although it's been discontinued since we no longer own the rights to the image, and it's not a good business model to not have something that's unique. This is completely unique to us. We own this image. It is created by us for us, along with our logo, which is also us. But we're going to try to be keeping with this same format where everything is integrated through our DeltaSoft AI Discord server. You'll have a private channel, and we're going to try to integrate our AI and our administrative bot over here into one to kind of remove any kind of confusion. Um, those are our big goals. as well as trying to integrate other AI services as well. We've started doing, oh no, I know Alex knows a little bit about this, but we've started testing integrating functions and other things in it. So the AI can make smart choices about if it needs to pull API data for weather, if it needs to pull traffic data, if it needs to pull online information about a relevant topic or something, so it can give you the most up to date, the most informational and informed response it can.
Alright, so yeah. So I do know a little bit about it. I've been a beta tester for him for a couple of months now. He hasn't put the bot online for a while, but I can definitely tell you it's pretty interesting for AI to be pulling all sorts of data from all sorts of locations. I think it can't really be Pacific, right? It's just one general location.
So the one you tested is a little bit outdated. Right now, it's having trouble deciphering a specific location. So the API can only pull from specific locations, such as popular cities, or it can pull from zip code, like United States zip codes, or other area codes from European countries. And it's having a hard time if you ask the AI to pull information about weather from your current location. It doesn't know your current location unless you otherwise specified it. So in the API call, it will return in a string the words your location, which isn't a physical place, which will cause errors. So trying to work with the AI to train the model to not do that, to prompt you then for a further location has been a struggle we've been trying to compromise on. But one possible thing we've been looking at through OpenAI is their new instruct model. So DeltaSoft AI right now uses their chat completions model, which is very similar to ChatGPT, which pulls on a large language model to generate the best possible text response, whereas the instruct model relies heavily on um, pre-made instructions and extensive training to pull on first its structural set of guidelines and what it can and cannot do, and any outlying information that you want it to have up front, such as files containing extensive information, such as information on how to use a specific API before making any decisions about its natural language generation, which I think is definitely something we're going to be looking forward to. But that kind of carries me into our next point, which is like a financial sustainability of a project like this. Right now, DataSoft AI is currently offline and only available to select beta testers, which is really just me and every once in a while Alex right now, because of how expensive it can be to run. I did a couple calculations, and it's about $500 to $600 a year for around 200 people to use the bot actively, which is a large financial constraint considering there's no passive income created through the bot, which is why we are looking at a server subscription tier for the DeltaSoft AI server. So it would only need to be about $2 to $5 a month, and then that service would be authorized through the bot, and you would then gain access to it. It would recognize you in the database, and you would be able to talk with it. Otherwise, it would just prompt you to get a subscription. I think this is the most financially sustainable way, considering that way we can pull in some revenue and still keep the service available for a fairly cheap cost. It would only be about $2 to $5 a month. But I think once we get a product that is fully integrated and works well and has a stable release, I think that will be well worth it compared to other products such as ChatGPT, which go for $20 a month if you want ChatGPT 4 or other generation softwares.
So yeah, it sounds like a pretty big financial restraint, considering how OpenAI has been kind of working with that. because well, OpenAI can sometimes cost money, like GPT-4, and even Patrick here has made his own little AI bot-ish. It's basically like OpenAI, but towards his own religion, Awe, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, pretty much that is what he's doing. And yeah, so AI bots have been kind of interesting lately. Yeah, Patrick says only costs us here pennies a month. Probably because your AI bot is one of the most basic AI bots compared to DeltaSoft's. So yeah, so
The
JSman.
main the main financial constraint is um, the depth of information it has to take into consideration to make a decision. So, if it was just strict language generation, that would only cost pennies a month. Now, compounded to a year, it would only end up being like $50 a year, which is financially sustainable as a nonprofit, as just an open tool. But considering like some of the functions I'm trying to implement and to make the extent of it a much larger scope, so it's more appealing to a broader audience besides coders and strict community members. Um, that expense goes up. The expense of functions, the expense of the information you need to provide it on, given like history of your company to and like all the model training that comes with having a model that's very refined and knows itself well and does what I want it to do. Those all compound into the operating cost.
So yeah, how'd you get around to creating an AI that's better than Patrick's?
I haven't played around with Patrick's AI, but I don't, so I can't personally attest to if mine's better or worse. But I will say the process in creating this was easier in the beginning, harder later. So in the beginning of most OpenAI software, you get a free trial of their AI of their API services, which is normally around $5 to $18 over a 3 month period, which is $18 is over a 3 month period is more than enough for almost every programmer and AI bot that's not extensively used, such as the DeltaSoft AI bot in its beta phase, which worked well, which is why it was open and free to the public. But now that trial is over and it's not like it's against our terms of service to kind of go around that free trial by opening alternative accounts, which I've been trying to not get banned from their service because that would be probably the worst possible scenario. Um, I think the extent at which the bot is um, shown to people and its usefulness probably gives it a little bit of an upper hand. But again, I'm not totally aware of Patrick's AI.
So pretty much Patrick's AI, so you pretty much ask it questions and see if it is aligned with Alway, which is basically Alway. Um, again, it's a religion which contains about it's A to O letters, which contain statements, and if you ask that bot, it will probably say which is right, which is wrong with Alway. And yeah, Patrick's mentioning in his little own head that his is only 191 lines long, with ChatGPT and Wikipedia, even though I doubt Alway is even on Wikipedia. But yeah, Patrick is just rambling on and on. It can be customized to respond with a different prompt per server, so somebody uses it for their religion too. Very interesting, Patrick. So yeah, so you created DeltaSoft as a company, so yeah, so a lot about websites, like oh Lord Patrick. Um, so yeah, so how'd you create this whole entire company? Like, kind of like slowly, or kind of like fast?
So DeltaSoft AI is that's the official name for it. I know my branding isn't always totally thorough with that. Sometimes it's marketed as DeltaSoft, sometimes it's a shortening like Delta, but the official name is DeltaSoft AI in full. I need to kind of up my branding skills a little bit and make that like thorough and concise and sync through all my branding. And that's one of my action items I need to do. But it is an unofficial company. It's not trademarked in any way. I'm the sole owner and operator, so everything is under my liability at the moment, but I plan to change that in the future. Um, Deltasoft started out a couple of years ago with just like one or two of my other friends. Um, I'll go into that in detail at a later point. Um, I should probably ask them for their confirmation and get their consent to talk about it because it is a little bit of a more personal company to them, and it has a little more of that personal information embedded within it. But their company had a very similar name, and um, mine, Deltasoft, is kind of the inverse of their company. So it's like two friends making two separate companies. His centered more on game development, while mine centered more on the community and developer front aspect of it, like providing resources and making websites that were appealing to developers compared to just entertaining things. And I think that idea of helping and contributing compared to as making entertaining things kind of planted the foundational roots for Deltasoft AI. So a year or so ago, when the peak of ChatGPT kind of took off, I noticed its um, kind of appeal. I'd always been a Stack Overflow member and contributor, but and I had like something like 4,000 helpful contributions. So I thought I understood what the JavaScript community needed and what would be helpful to them as someone who also struggles with JavaScript from time to time. And I kind of saw Stack Overflow community getting frustrated if they would ask a question and couldn't get a straight answer or not the answer they were looking for. They had like question review process, and sometimes your question would just be straight shut down. Whereas the service like ChatGPT would answer your question the first time, or you could ask it as many times as you want, and it would eventually give you the right answer. And I kind of saw the appeal if I narrowed that down a little more and specifically targeted that at developers, kind of that I would get a positive response from that. That's kind of where the Soft AI bot started. So after joining a couple developer communities and taking interest from and like gauging the interest level from a couple different developers, I created the Deltasoft AI server. Actually, I created a test server first, but the Deltasoft AI server and started work on the Deltasoft bot. Now, originally, it was just a straight Discord bot, but with a slash command that would reach out through an API to ChatGPT and pull answers in that you could add to any server and use a slash command to generate answers for. And that worked well, but a lot of times people were getting frustrated with there wasn't any sort of chat history, such as in ChatGPT or other things that would kind of help carry the conversation or provide context for a problem. So that's when I decided to transition to a larger audience language model. I mean, that could be for not just developers, but for anyone who used Assistant and already used Discord. At the time, there were not many AI bots. At the time, Clyde hadn't been out yet. Many other services, now that there are a lot of them, but the other ones that do exist hadn't come out yet. So I was probably 1 in 10 that had the idea to do this and started acting on this. So started developing that, and I only had about 20 members at the time, kind of developing it, but it was a turbulent time because of how much AI was developing. Like you saw during that time period, the rapid development of ChatGPT and the rapid growth of OpenAI meant they were changing their APIs constantly upgrading, which is a good thing, but hard to develop a stable release that wasn't outdated or that was still in competition with other services.
Yeah. So yeah, AI has been kind of getting crazier and crazier with the more help, more knowledge it knows, and overall, it's just been growing, getting stronger, getting better, except for Patrick's because his still spits out the kind of the same response. But anyways, so what happened to AstroCore as a company? Like, did they like kind of dissolved with just you in it?
I can't speak completely on behalf of AstroCore. I was really only an AstroCore member, but I think that I can't speak for the status of the company. It is in a hibernation state. The owner and really founder of the company has been on leave and not online recently, so that leadership and drive has been missing. I joined their kind of community to help them develop a solid website and web services for them and to kind of help them with their branding. Let me see if I still have. I think I do. I have their um, this was their UI design. So I also do UI designs besides web development. Am I still screen sharing? Yes, I am. Okay, good. So we went through a couple different iterations of our designs. Where is it? Simple things like this. This was their logo to kind of help them attract different audience, rough sketches and such, also helping them with their branding, showing them different designs. This was an asset they used on their website, this kind of branding style. We went over lots of different copyright ideas, like, and what I mean by that is like the text you see on websites, like somebody had to think of what to write there, um, or they had other ideas, such as like making games. They were a very active community of developers at the time with many bold ideas, and they just didn't have an outlet to kind of share that. So I came in to help them start to develop and generate some of those. They had an idea for a social media platform, so helping them develop the ideas for those, kind of just like crude designs. Like you see, like went with a very like dark purple theme, which was a challenge for me as starting out as a designer. But I think I really embraced it and did create something that worked well, um, given that purple is not always the easiest and best color to work with. But this doesn't look half bad for a preliminary design. Um, like I said, they also wanted like administrative panels and other things. Figgy Cake 8, Figgy 8 Cake is the was the member and founder of it who has been on leave. But I guess if he returns and all the other members want to, I would jump right back at it. I'd be more than happy to help them design something, make stuff. Um, but I think without him, without that leadership, without that drive, I think a lot of the members have just kind of dissolved because there's just not there's not a brand to go behind. There's not someone willing to give you like the go ahead for your ideas. And he really owned the company, so it's not right to just go out and do things on his behalf without him, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, AstroCore, kind of an old company, kind of been in hibernation for about roughly a year, I guess. I have been talking to some of their members, including Geo's Jobby. So yeah, he really was kind of I don't know what's the word for it, kind of phased by it, a little shutdown thing. Yeah, he definitely wants to get back into the astral core thing, but he's saying that he doesn't really have relations with the GA cake anymore. And Patrick's an old member; he probably remembers him. But for overall, yeah, astral core is kind of going down a little rabbit hole.
Yeah, I would say I would use a lot of these designs again if a side company or AstroCore changed leadership. I would like to make some of these designs. I did put a fair bit of work into these are all original designs for the website or app, things like this. And I think AstroCore was a good influence on me, and I'm glad that I joined. It kind of gave me an outlet, kind of gave me a reason to put my skills to the test that I've been working on and prove to not just myself, but other people how accomplished I was. I don't think I could be where I am working with the people that I am kind of without this, because kind of just something to show.
So, you know, you so you do web design, web development. Patrick's gotta go, but this is why we live stream the interviews, is so that we can watch them for future use. Like, also a bunch of archiving reasons as well, because information. I definitely think that information should be archived. Like always, like archive data shouldn't. Like I have an opinion where, like data, learning, bunch of stuff shouldn't be behind a paywall. Like because learning resources is learning resources. It shouldn't really have to be paid for if you want to learn something. But yeah, again, this is always live streamed just in case people want to watch it for archiving reasons. So yeah, see you around, Patrick. But so, JSman, you do web design, web development, but you also do model railing. I really don't know the word for it, but yeah, you do a lot of
Before we
you're
before
really
we get into that, I think we should. There's one more thing that I just found considering AstroCore, which was their website currently doesn't isn't up right now, but through the Wayback Machine, we can kind of look at what I kind of made for them and at the kind of the height of their ideas. So this was a fairly new type of website that I haven't seen a lot of the companies use. Very interactive, so like a glowy thing down there. It's very big. As we scroll down, you see like the shapes move. They had many different projects going. They had Discord bots. They had Minecraft servers. They had games. They wanted to create web services, so helping them create like modules for that. Kind of just testing out my ideas. Like this was their team, so like a large team um, working with, again, these APIs are going to load right now, but these kind of modules, testing out my ideas and such,
yeah.
working with like things like this. Oh, I wonder if this is even, nope, not there. Okay, wow. But
Yeah, so you're an enthusiast about trains, right?
I do. I am a big fan of trains, all type of trains, but specifically model trains. So I let me share my screen. Let me find this. Does this have okay? So if we go down here, like you say, I'm in many different train servers, but this is a train server that I own. So I'm the owner of this. Right now we have almost 300 members, which is um, really surprising. And I'm really proud of this community that I kind of helped found and the community that we've built together. So um, it focuses on trains, all types of trains, but it's kind of just a safe space for everyone to kind of come and enjoy the hobby. So like if people like to come post like whatever they've bought, and it's always positive. Like, we do buying and selling things. So if someone goes to a train lot and they find, like, oh, look at these, like, trains, they can post it here and they'll talk about if they want to buy it or not. So it's helpful for them to it's beneficial for someone looking to sell their things, and we do have a lot of engagements. Um, but we also have a fun community that, like, watch like stupid memes and stuff. Um, Things about like Polar Express and such. We have fun games like posting a picture of a train and the person has to guess next. Um, we have European stuff, not just American things. But then we have lots of different scales of trains. So from like really, really small trains that fit between your fingers to trains that are really, really big. There's got to be bigger ones, like huge outdoor ones, all that modeling. We have like active communities. I can see people just like talk like just before this. Um, Another thing I should talk about too is this guy. The server is called Mono Railroading and Rail Fanning, but this is a custom bot. Like I said, I'm a developer that I created specifically for this server to kind of host and manage the back end of the server. So if we come up here, we go to like our welcome, like every time somebody joins the server, the bot will send out welcome. It'll tell them what to do. It'll give them like that'll give them a member role. They can then go over here to our role select and get different roles. We have lots of fun roles. Um, we have amazing staff. Currently, only one's online right now, but we normally have at least 3 online. Me and then a couple other people. Alex, you didn't like when I changed my profile, but don't worry. On the train server, it's still my New York skyline. Um, Otherwise, rail fanning is another part of what I like. So literally going out and taking pictures of physical trains and having a space where people can feel comfortable posting those. And I don't do a lot of rail fanning, but I'll sit here for an hour and just scroll through. We have amazing photographers, people you'd pay hundreds of dollars to come look at their work. Let me find some good ones. Um, okay, me, like, or even just like regular photos. We're a very chill community. Like this time I made like burgers, but I posted those photographs here. Um, I don't know. Rail fanning, who's here? I didn't know you were in the server. I forgot.
Yeah, sometimes I forget the server
I forget the
exists.
server.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
fingers
your
echoing real bad.
real bad.
What we do, also things like we love
Why is my
Why
voice
is my voice
so loud
so
on your
loud
head?
on your end?
we do lots of stuff with music. So people do like bassoon or I love music. I'll get into that. I'll get into that later. But we have like YouTubers who come and post all of their YouTube things here, like renowned YouTubers or photographers or things that come. We have just like random categories of people who like other hobbies and such come and post here. Animals, I love animals. So just trying to create a safe community where people can feel free to post whatever they like. I really try to encourage people to promote their own server. So I know I was starting out trying to create this community. It was harder for me to find a place where I could safely advertise that harassment, my server, in a place that people would actually be. So I really encourage people to post here. There are some servers who are just new. There are other servers who have more. There are servers with 300 that started out here, but it's just like um, it could be about trains, it could be about anything. but you're free to post here. We do giveaways of different trains or different subscriptions of things. We have partnerships. Obviously, I plug my own services, but we've had other services in the past that we've plugged as well for other benefits.
What about my
What
server?
about my server? We could talk about partnering with your server. That's fine. That'd be a different date. We'll have a different discussion about that. But like we said, like all different types of topics, like math, or even like people requested like a Roblox channel because a lot of people do like development, but with Roblox specifically. Or one of the channel that I really love, I'm glad that I added, is this art channel. So this like people draw different things, make different fun crafts and things, and it's just great art. I always love scrolling through here, seeing what people have made. Otherwise, we have fun things like trivia nights, which are a lot of fun. We have other things like military vehicles, all kind of nerdy things, but that is a safe place to, if you took something or took a picture of something, like this is pretty interesting. Never would have seen this anywhere but here. I guess people who are interested in cars, trucks. We have a large plane community too, so people who actively go and fly planes, people who like to go and take pictures of planes professionally, people who go into airports and talk about planes. We try to engage in our community. This polls and question of the day area has been slightly vacant for a couple months now because of complications with hosting the spot. So we haven't had automatic questions of the day, which I'm going to try to fix. But we have like a lot of community engagement and like response with our community to try to get interested. We're constantly doing polls to gauge their engagement. We have trains of the day, so to come with like information all about them to inform people and pique people's interest about different types of locomotives they might have not known existed. We also do stuff with like simulation. So these are obviously video games, but they're simulations and high spec enough that someone who like they would look, obviously this isn't like realistic, but like something like this is people who, it's like a mix of like video games and realistic stuff. We have people who own, like me, like other layouts. They'll post like the track plans. Oh, where did I go? The track plans for them. Their own layouts with trains moving. Things with it that they're building. Lots of fun. People can come, put their advice. Like this person's obviously a new rail fanner. People are helping out. People who talk about 3D printers. People who want to scratch build things. Whoop, what I just clicked? Yep. I don't know, lots of things. We've barely had any server infractions. We only had like 2 people we've ever needed to ban. We're constantly engaging. Like our server images are always images that real people have taken. Like people take images of trains and then people vote for them, and the person with the most amount of votes, that becomes our server image. So someone can come into our server and see if their image has been selected, and it kind of gives that community engagement and that sense of pride. Yeah, we're constantly taking in suggestions, any emoji they want to put in, sounds or soundboard, channels, roles. We have lots of fun roles. Let me go here. Actually, I don't think you guys can see that, can you? Alex, can you guys see if I go into like the settings panel? Can you guys see the settings?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. You guys can see all the roles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like you guys said, like I said, we have like a lot of roles, but these are all roles people just requested and I made. They're all cosmetic roles, but it gives people a sense of pride for their hobby, um, things like that. We have like sound, oh, not there. We have like emojis, a lot of emojis. We have stickers, all things to kind of boost community engagement. Constantly putting out, not constantly, but enough like engaging people on Thanksgiving, talking about our progress. When we have a profile image, you know, things like this to keep the community engaged. A lot of the times we're doing like staff applications and such. So, um, like openly having people from the community who want to be staff here apply. We have a couple rules, but these are all common sense rules, nothing crazy. Um, yeah, I spent a lot of time into our like server guide and like the different channels we have. But I think that's it for that community.
So, yeah, I can see your server has been getting a lot of members, and every single time I try to talk on the stream, it literally tries to make me go deaf, considering my volume is like 400%. Like, my voice echoes really bad on your thing.
Probably I'm just screen sharing Discord, so it's gonna take the Discord audio.
Yeah, I had at some points I had to mute it because of how loud it was, but I was probably kind of worried it would probably mute you instead. So yeah, so you, oh my lord, I can't stop getting past the voice echoing. You love Terrant. I know that. You love Terrant more than Bootstrap. We've been in a war about it because Bootstrap's a better king. It's been the king for 11 years, for a very long time.
I'm still gonna say that Tailwind is better. There are things that Bootstrap just cannot do. Like let me show you.
It's literally $3,000. Like, come on.
It's fine. Let me resize this. Just beautiful inline styling. No need for crazy Bootstrap. You can use already built-in HTML things like block quotes and figure captions and figures. They have hundreds and hundreds of reviews, all positive. I love it. There's different breakpoints, colors, topography, shadows. I love it. I've used it. And I think it's just, unlike Bootstrap, which has pre-made components, this lets you easily make whatever you want. It's instantly made. It's fast. It's small. It's beautiful. I love the style. And you can make whatever you want. It doesn't have to look like this. But my favorite, and the reason why I'm so attached to Tailwind, are their components. So things that just are pre-made for you. So I could take this and edit this. I didn't have to, but like, no pricing selection. Like, this looks amazing. I took a variation on this design down here, like similar, not the same, but I took inspiration from this. Different things. One thing I'm contemplating buying is their $300 package to get all of it, which I know is going to make Alex upset. But
Live stream my beta website for a minute. I'm going to show you why mine looks better for a pretty long time. It's beta dot, and you can just use beta dot since AT Products XYZ. Yeah, so see how my website actually supports color modes, JSman? Take notes here. Mine actually supports color modes.
besides color modes, it looks ugly as hell.
No, it does not. Yeah.
Looks like it's out of 2007.
2007.
This is not supported by color mode.
In 2007, Flexbox didn't even exist. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like, 2007 websites did not look this modern. Like, really.
At least you plug my beautiful blog.
Yeah, that was my post, by the way. I made that text by text.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that little link uses an icon link. So, I swear.
Alright, what's the next question?
I have no clue, to be honest with you. So how'd you get into programming?
So I got into programming with a couple different friends. It was just kind of a fun thing to do. Like I said, I always liked problem solving and such. So programming started out with like Python, and then moved my way to HTML and web development. But I kind of took off with JavaScript. It made intuitive sense. It was easy for me to pick up, and there was just so much I could do with it, from like local things using Node.js to web things to creating Discord bots to making applications, to making mobile applications, to everything would just run easily with it. There's an old saying that says, everything that has not been made with JavaScript will one day be made with JavaScript. And it's true. Um, I love it. Um, my friends and I would have competitions who could make a website better, who could make a program better. We were constantly encouraging each other. And when I started on Discord and finding Discord communities, that definitely helped me take off, finding encouragement, finding inspiration for other stuff.
So have you gotten? So yeah, you said you're going to get into TypeScript, but what about Instructs?
I haven't done a lot of research into that language yet. I will look into it, but I don't know currently the ways I can implement it, but I will look into it.
Yeah, so there's a little Instruct scripting language in the chat if you want to look at that on live. But like turn into a more easier way. Like JSman has done a lot. Not JSman. Patrick has done a lot with Instructs. He has put Roblox games with Instructs as partners, like Deadline. You probably never heard of Deadline, to be honest. I don't even know if you play any video games at all. Like, do you even play any video games?
I play a couple video games. I play a little bit of Roblox, but not. I've played it before. I'm not a big gamer. I don't have a lot of time between coding and full-time student, so working on that. Um, Play a little bit of Fortnite. Otherwise, play a couple different like train simulator games when I have the chance, as well as like War Thunder. But I haven't played a lot of video games.
Yeah, so I am just looking now at general, and I kind of want to mute somebody right now for a little while. If you look in general. Yeah, pretty interesting post. I'm not gonna show it on live, but you can see the very interesting post Russian name has inputted.
All right, do you have any other questions for me?
I kind of already said my main ones, but let's see here.
Any other requests from audience members?
Not really, but what are your future plans from this point on?
Some of my future plans include trying to more professionally do web services. Actually, this is a great time for me to talk about some of the projects I'm currently working on as well. Yeah, I guess I can show you. Let me share screen to this. Is this working? Yeah. To this company, which I've been working on, which is a community that I'm in for a couple months now, to help them make this website, which I think I'm really proud of. Uh, it's a website for their online community, but I think this is really going to help them generate and take in members. I've focused it to be kind of like shocking when you first come in to see like, look who's currently online right now. So you like know there's literally people online, or this is set up to have like hundreds of reviews that collapse. You could open it similar to this website. Oh, not that website. To this website. To here, where you open it and you just see hundreds. Um, but I think that's what I've been working on, and what I'm going to continue to work on. This is almost done, so getting this ready for production. But similar projects like this, expanding my portfolio, working more professionally. Yeah, working a little more with like visual design and such. Let me change my window to this, going over to like the design process of this website. So looking at the design versus what was physically created, it looks pretty similar, which is the goal. Um, so using this as an item in my portfolio, or using it as a tool to um, meet new people, to kind of expand my knowledge and expand my influence, to get more jobs, to meet new people, to gain more experience. I think that's pretty much what I'm just looking forward to this year.
Alright. I just sent something in the chat if you want to look at that real quickly. Because I want you to compare the two sites, see what you can do. But that website, I think that design you're pointing at right now, if right there, that kind of looks better a little bit in my opinion. But for the most part,
Yeah, there's some things like some things that look better in design versus than versus practicality. So I agree. We came up with this idea of like a floating bar here or these things inside. But what it really comes down to is practicality and usability. Am I sharing? Right? No, no, I'm not. Let me pull up this. Okay, so here, like I see, I moved it over here. But that's really so we could fit in this extra bar, like an immediate action item. And so that when we're in a mobile view, is this showing you a mobile view?
kind of, yeah.
It is. Yeah, okay. So showing you this, like on the left versus being in the center was really awkward, especially when we were trying to scale things down. Things just didn't fit correctly. Compared to now, everything kind of fits and everything snaps to it being left, what I think is more practical. You wanted me to compare these two?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm immediately noticing is change in logo, which I approve of. I'm noticing more use of icons. So this, which is I definitely approve of. Um, I dislike this. So I would say it does look better, like the black bit does look better. Although with your use of these two, this looks like this whole bar should be a button, especially how it's popping out, which I don't especially like. I think this section needs to be like, if there's one thing I would do, it would just be like, I would go like that. Kind of just totally be like that. And I would just totally like get all rid of all of that. Um, Otherwise, side by side, everything else looks pretty similar.
Yeah, you absolutely hate the
History.
carousel. You hate the carousel.
Nobody likes the carousel. Nobody likes the carousel. Although I do like this. This was a good idea. I like how it goes back and forth, kind of making this history bit a little bit more concise.
Yeah, Zozio actually gave me that idea because of the consistency and how I updated like everything else.
Yep.
I sent you the next version if you want to take a look at that. You can already tell the difference between the embeds, so there's that.
This is certainly an interesting version. I remember this version. Again, like I saw a lot of issues with this, like compared to this. So just not having like really inconsistent branding, like a logo here, not a logo here. These, like nobody cares about whether another annoying carousel.
Really?
But
Really? You don't care about Rever? Even though that's kind of part of what ATP Rever does.
it could be a separate service, that's all I'm saying. See, even Jukas agrees with me.
Well, last morning, there was an EF0 reported in Mississippi. Nobody got injured, nobody died. However, chicken wire damage did occur.
Move on with the questions. Let's go.
To be honest, I kind of already said my questions.
All right.
So,
Are
yeah,
there any other questions from the audience?
not really. I want you to look at the next version, which is really old. Just take a look.
Oh my.
It's so old it doesn't even have an embed.
For those of you who are not seeing this right now, take a look at this. Oh my. Got the PNG, got the HTML document. Look at this. Oh my. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's very crazy.
Information. This is crazy. Transferred from code.org. That is insane.
Now, there's the next version in March. Oh, just ask a question. Have you made any money from DeltaSoft, and how are you going to make money from it?
Okay, so there's actually a really interesting question and one that I should talk a little bit more about. So currently, I have not made a dime from DeltaSoft, but that is going to be changing soon. So the main source of revenue will be from the DeltaSoft AI bot, and which I'm planning to keep completely separate from any other like web service or programming service. I'm planning to keep them totally separate financially, just to kind of um, maintain that. Because if I don't want to have to be dependent on web services to maintain an AI, that sounds totally unsustainable. So if I don't get any customer, then the AI goes down. That sounds awful. So the pricing is probably going to be around two to $5, probably $2, probably one, two, or $5 a month, depending on the traffic we get. Those numbers might change, but it'll probably be implemented through a server subscription. So using that, I'm going to try to go for low price, as well as using that revenue that is generated then to implement that with other APIs such as weather, traffic, location data, pulling from like ChatGPT-4 and real world information to make it assistive AI, not just a chatbot. So it's well worth your time. Like it's something that if you're already on Discord, instead of opening up Google, you should open that up and you get your answer faster. Or if you need to look something up instead of, you know, typing in ChatGPT and going to ChatGPT, you open up Discord and there it is, like kind of your go-to everything in one place helper. Does that answer your question?
Well, like 4 questions. So beating out the competition against a big company that used to be owned by Elon Musk.
Well, my plan is not to beat out OpenAI because I rely on them for their service. My plan is to beat out other competing assistive technology services on Discord, such as Clyde, which I successfully beat out. I wouldn't say I beat him out, but
You beat Discord themselves.
beat the developer community beat Discord at their own game. Nobody used their Clyde because they were either already using OpenAI software or they're
No,
using other bots.
that was not the reason why it shut down. People were executing like Haskell code, like Patrick said, but literally making it say the most insane stuff. Like probably illegal stuff.
It was just unsustainable, whereas mine are sustainable.
like literally Clyde could execute some code that would probably be reported to the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children.
That is another thing I'm going to be adding to Double.ai is a code interpreter. So targeted at programmers, like interpreting your code, fixing bugs, running simple code, stuff like that.
So I just sent you a bunch of websites which are very different from each other. I just want you to take a look at 2.0.1 and then look at 2.1. Because I just want to see you roast the absolute fuck out of my websites.
Okay, this is insanely interesting. We finally get a new nav bar, which is a step in the right direction, although you've linked yourself in the nav bar, which is quite interesting. Finally changed the name of some of these. You linked the terms of service and privacy policy in the same nav bar, making it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 item nav bar, which I'm really curious how it responds. Oh, that's really fun. We again get that PNG above. We get a name, and then a PNG with the same name. That's like top of the line stuff. Get general information that has very general information, one sentence history, and fine print so small I can't even see it. Okay, I don't know if this is a step backwards or a step forwards. Again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an image that I can't even click on or drag. It's not screen readable image, which is a lovely 5, 6, 7. I definitely know what website I'm on. Again, the vertical nav bar is something else. I've never seen that before, but it sure is responsive. Look at that. Terms of service still in the upper nav bar, not down here with the unreadable fine print.
Okay, so now look at 2.5.1.
This is a big step in the right direction. I'm still liking the dark theme, although you haven't fully committed to it because these logos are literally unseeable. We have multiple navigation bars, which is wowza. We still have that. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things in the upper nav bar. Then another navigation bar with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of navigation that brings you nowhere. That just brings you further down the page. Our privacy policy and terms of service still in the upper navigation, which is crazy.
You should probably click on one of those little pages.
Oh wow, look at this. Literally unreadable code. That's fun. Basically unreadable text. It's so dark. Can't see the logos. Navigation again going down. So if I'm like this, I can't see the bottom bit. Cookie pop up on the wrong side of the screen.
Alright, so I just sent you a link to a different coding home version. You might want to look at the basics again.
Oh my, this is super fun. Okay, starting off with, we have an unresponsive thing that goes back and forth like this. No website should ever go back and forth like this. This makes me literally sick. Like, how can you even like let your website do this? Like, how? Again, 1.
Oh my god, I don't know how.
2. We have unseeable logos, unseeable text. We have a disclaimer immediately at the front, which is insanely distracting. We again are advertising malware and advertising viruses, which is always a great business practice. We're linking outside apps and softwares, which is only one thing. Horrendous HR tags. leading all the way across the screen, insanely distracting. No support for Python basics. No support for JavaScript basics. No support for HTML basics.
You should probably click on one of those links. Just do it. That's because it goes to the wrong domain.
That's crazy.
Alright, now there's a different coding home version I sent that actually should have Google Docs embedded.
Unloadable Google Doc embeds, which is crazy.
Right. Now look at 2.6.1.
Oh my god, literal flashbang. Can't see anything after the explosion of white in my eyes. We have again 1, 2, 3 products right here. AT products, AT products again, and then just products. If that's not confusing enough for someone, a new person. Although I like the smaller navigation. But why is this above the navigation? Another mention of AT products. 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's an image that you can't drag. Again, we have navigation going down. Finally, we can see the logos. We have products with not a huge disclaimer. Finally, got allies, but for some reason, everything is centered and everything is going down instead of left or right, which is pissing me off. We have what's new that's like no one cares about, and this is bold for some reason.
Alright, now 2.7.
All right, finally get a proper navigation with a non-image, but that's fine here. Although you've still linked yourself next to the link. These are linked literally the exact same. Why do you have both? We have products, which is not confusing. We have AT products, and then just products, which isn't confusing at all. We then have it linked again, and then linked again in case you forgot what website you were on. We have both logos on this side for some reason. Everything is still centered, but now we have a footer that is somehow not styled right. So we have like 8 extra breaks down here, so it's not at the bottom.
Right.
Although I do like that things are starting to be centered left.
Alright, now look at 2.9. Now
still have a wonky navigation.
Go to the paid products, which should be in this version.
We have paid services for some reason all the way totally centered. You can't even support payment, which is super unappetizing. So instead of just buying your web design services, I have to call you, which I'm not doing.
It's literally emailing. It's literally email, not calls.
That's not obvious. It says you called it a support line.
Yeah, support line is called an email, buddy. You should take out the Discord rules.
Discord rules, for some reason, are in the website.
You should probably
This is very silly.
You should probably look at 2.10, which is going to piss you off.
Okay, first introduction of the dreaded carousel for no reason. I don't even know why this exists and why it isn't a section. Why is the whole website inside one div called index with a class of A? Who thought that was a good practice? And why does the first one have an ID of intro? Okay, first off, we have finally everything encased in a div that I can just delete. But we have an extra HR in here, which is bad web design practice. We have general information, which is fine. Everything is still centered vertically for some retarded all reason. We now have
oh my god,
weird. This is like, what is this?
Centered
navigation.
Eventually, it's going to go to left align text, but that's not for a while. Now look at 2.12. Now notice
you just made the carousel bigger, and it's just an image.
No, notice the new toggle theme option.
What?
On the nav bar, buddy. I swear to God, if you can't find it, the toggle theme. You blind.
We got a toggle theme that kind of works but doesn't, because the logo in the center. Why do you even have this? Why is this an image in the first place? This whole hero section is a mess. I don't even know why this exists.
Well, you're going to left 2.15. Alright, now 2.13.
Finally,
2.13, not 15. But yeah, eventually.
okay, still ugly awe image in the center. We have more than ever socials for some reason linked at the top, not at the bottom where you'd expect them to be. We have general information still. We have products, but they're centered weirdly. I don't even know how you make this. I could not tell you in CSS how you align something like this. This is actually straight doo-doo. We have discontinued products, which you shouldn't even be advertising. You just remove them completely. We have our allies, which are still somehow centered weirdly. I don't even know how you make this. Well, I do, but it's awful. You shouldn't. Is this even the right link? No, not even the right link. We have credits that you're somehow crediting Bootstrap. You don't need to credit them. You don't have to credit W3 schools for their navigation bar. Nobody cares about your history. Make an about page. Finally, put the socials down here. Instead, you should have just done this. You should have just taken this whole.
I actually got a whole thing for you.
That. Should have just done that. Look at that.
Okay, so apparently, so I put the links in when they came on around like 2.7, but it turns out they're the wrong color. So that means they're hidden for like a good few versions until I finally fix their color. You could click on them, they're just hidden.
Well,
Alright, now go to 2.15. Actually, no, 2.14.2.
okay, these finally got company links in a dedicated spot. They're not sprinkled around. Still have this enormous ass ugly image for no reason. Vertical navigation. Ugly carousel with now like a bezel for some reason. Bezels are bad. Why did you add a bezel? Looks like an old-timey TV screen. We have things finally being centered to the left and concise, which is what I want. This is still somehow centered weirdly. This is still having discontinued products for some reason. Starting to look consistent, but there's like a weird gap here. You still don't need to credit these people. History finally centered left. Everything centered left. Nobody cares.
Alright, 2.15.
And back to the top button. Which doesn't really bring back to the top. It just brings you to this. So if I have this, if I already click the button once, it doesn't work again, which is stupid.
Oh my god. Go to 2.15.
Okay, finally we get an actual image over here. We get a beta tester's banner, which is not great, but better than nothing. The image finally goes away. We get paid services here and a navigation bar. It still goes down. We already have navigation up here. Socials are better, but still shouldn't be here. We have an even uglier carousel. These just get worse and worse, bigger and bigger. Nobody cares. Products finally in a concise place. Allies still colored weirdly. I don't know why this isn't fitting with the rest of the theme. And for some reason, this is boxed in, but this just isn't. And logos are different sizes. Credits should just be totally deleted. Like go like this. Just totally just like find this and just delete it along with the HR. What's new is absolutely huge, and for some reason we have information that you have to scroll down to see. Like what?
2.16.
Starting to look better. We have this bigger, so in case you forgot what website you were on that you just typed in this ugly ass URL. We have a company that provides web solutions to your problems, but this actually isn't a button, even though it's the same as all of the other buttons here. Enormous carousel, ugly thing, but now we have even more credits, which don't need to be here. Nobody cares that you used UI gradients. It's a free service. We have more information there.
Alright, you should probably look at Coding Home real quickly, just one of those little links.
Coding Home starting to look better, but I can't tell you what this image is. It's totally distracting and makes it so I can't read the text behind it. Why is there a view the laid out format? Why is this even a thing?
You should probably look at the page before you judge it.
I don't know why there are two different pages. Just make it one page. This could be just one page. Also, why can't I click out? This is a design flaw.
That's because I made it that way.
Why? Why would you make it that way?
Just in case people are reading the goddamn content and just click out of it. So I'll make them harder to close out.
Also, finally brings me to the top, but weirdly, I don't know why it stutters like that.
You should probably review the code. 2.17, which got released a few days ago, actually. Now put it in dog mode. Let's see what happens when JSman goes blind.
Okay, first off, our HR is the wrong color. I like this. I like the new logo. You can just totally remove this. I don't even know why this is. The logo and this do the same thing. Why are they both next to each other? That's redundant.
Yeah, you selected a yellow background. I can't believe that.
We have another carousel, which shouldn't be here. We have products, which are the same. Credits finally changed the background to be the same. I like this.
You're gonna be mad.
Information. I don't know why this is even still here.
It
should just be laid out across.
Okay, now go to light mode because you're gonna be mad. You can be mad. Now scroll.
Okay, first off, I hate how this is dark, but this is light, but that's mad. That makes me mad. This still makes me mad. Why is this not? This is a simple change. I don't know why this hasn't been changed. That's simple. That's easy. It's an easy fix. Do the icons change too? They do change. I like that.
Yeah, that's because Bootstrap actually made it that way, so that's why they're better.
Your scroll up feature is still goofy. Do you know there's a JavaScript function that just makes you return to the top of the page? That's goofy.
I just included a little link for you.
This is the best part of the entire website.
Jesus Christ, bro. You should probably look at what I just sent you. Or sent that.
What is this?
That's how the scroll button works.
Why do you have it fade in? You shouldn't have it fade in, you should just fade out. This is wild. And you're using jQuery. That's insane. I thought I'd never see jQuery again, but here we are.
Alright, now look at the two links I just sent you.
Okay, this already hurts my eyes to look at. I'm not even reading this. An ugly ass navigation bar. Vertical with no stylized. This is a different font than this for some reason. I cannot see this Discord logo.
You're just blind, bro.
We have links that I can't see. I just can't even read this. Why is the thing? The HRs are crazy.
Alright, now look at the JavaScript link. Holy hell, you have like 200 pages.
Is this for the carousel?
Half of it is for the carousel, but the other half is for the history tab.
You use JavaScript for the history tab. Why don't you just use like CSS groups?
is way more better that way.
Like, look, like, this doesn't use any JavaScript. Oh, wait, not that. This just opens up using CSS groups.
Yeah, so does my nav bar. But they actually have an animation which makes them look better. Alright.
I'm done reviewing your website.
Oh, hell no. You got 2 more scripts to go, buddy.
Nuh-uh.
You got 2 more scripts. I just sent you 2 more you can look at. They're all on jQuery. You're gonna be so goddamn. You're gonna be pissed after looking at these 2 scripts because they're almost exactly the same. They're just using different features.
What is this? Why are you using so much jQuery? It's so bad. Why? What? Why do you have hash? Why? Open accordion from hash? What even is this? What function is this? Accordion? What's your accordion? What accordion do you even have?
I just sent you it. One of them. Just one of them.
Oh, this is it? Oh my. This is so bad. Oh my.
Venom and Gene Fighter looked good.
Look at this, would you? This is crazy. Okay, what is the other one? Modal. Just open the modal.
Alright. Now I sent an example you could look at which uses that specific script.
Oh wow.
You can also change models depending on your ID. So let's change. Just remove that second D in the URL. That should open up something else.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the best features I've ever put in my website.
I bet.
Yeah, I even had to put in an additional feature just to ensure the model won't close when you try to go to a different ID within the model. You can take a look at that model ID script and I'll probably tell you along with it. That's one of the best features ever. So much work put into that. See your dad coordinate? I'm gonna explain that coordination feature. Damn it, you fucking ended it. Alright. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a very interesting interview. Wow, JSman just roasted the fuck out of me. So, yeah, pretty much. That's why I might be just concluding this whole interview. What is happening? He went muted. Oh, I swear to God. So, I'm probably just gonna conclude this interview as JSman just went crazy for a minute. So, so do you
Yep.
probably want to be concluding the interview here because I have nothing else for you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for having me.
You do, man. Alright, so that's pretty much the whole entire interview. If you somehow watched the whole entire live stream or watched the archived version of it and got to this point, good job. Good job.